Meaning is everything in communication. How we view the world and express our ideas and thoughts about it are channeled through language. When learning the English language, understanding the differences between semantic and pragmatic meaning can be a valuable tool to maximize your linguistic ability. Although both are terms used in relation to the meanings of words, their usage is drastically different. If you want to know what a word means, all you have to do is to look it up in the dictionary, right? But it's a little more complicated than that, because there are problems with relying on the dictionary to give a word meaning. One of this is dictionary is made by people like us who still need some other ways of figuring out what words mean. Another is writing a definition isn't always the most effective way of pinning down or providing the meaning of a word. The area of linguistics interested in meaning and the many ways that we can describe it is semantics. Sometimes we don't always say exactly what we mean, and yet we're still pretty good at understanding each other. If I ask, "Can you close the door?" you will probably interpret the question as a polite request rather than a question of your physical ability. That's because we don't just use meaning to figure out what's going on. We also use context. The area of linguistics that puts meaning in the context is pragmatics. Good day everyone. I am Jenny VG Arimbayutan and today I will be discussing about semantics. Let us further discuss what semantics is. Semantics comes from the Greek word semantikos, which means to show or give signs. Griffith 2006 defines semantics as the study of the word meaning and sentence meaning abstracted away from context of use. Semantics as the study of meaning is essential to the study of language acquisition, or how language users acquire a sense of meaning as speakers and writers, listeners and readers, and of language change, or how meaning alter over time. It is important for understanding language in social contexts as these are likely to affect meaning, and for understanding varieties of English and effects of style. It is therefore one of the most fundamental concepts in linguistics. Language has a unique role in conveying meanings. Meanings are considered to be the soul of semantics, and today we're going to discuss three basic types of meanings. These are conceptual meaning, connotative meaning, and social meaning. What Geoffrey Leach 1981 calls as conceptual meaning is the same as what other scholars call denotative, designative, cognitive, or descriptive. It is also called logical meaning. It is the basic propositional meaning which corresponds to the primary dictionary definition. For example, P or letter P can be described as voiceless and bilabial and also plosive. Similarly, the word boy is described as human and male, but not an adult. In short, it is the literal meaning of the word indicating the idea or concept to which it refers. Since conceptual meaning deals with the core meaning of expression, it is essential for the functioning of language. For example, a part of the conceptual meaning of needle may be thin, sharp, or instrument. In this example, it shows that the aim of conceptual meaning is to provide an appropriate semantic representation to a sentence or a statement, and that makes the conceptual meaning as the base for all the other types of meaning. Now let us discuss the second basic type of semantics, which is connotative meaning. Leach 1981 calls connotative meaning as the communicative value an expression has by virtue of what it refers to over and above its purely conceptual contents. That means that connotative meaning is indeterminate and open-ended. This is because this depends upon the knowledge and beliefs of the speakers and may belong to any characteristics of the referent, real or imaginary as identified by the speaker. For example, the noun phrase brown bear literally signifies a large omnivorous mammal known scientifically as the Ursus arctos, but there are various cultural or emotional meanings attached to a word. It may provide one or more deeper levels of meaning. These subjective meanings are known as connotations. For example, a camper might hear brown bear with a connotation of fear and panic. On the other hand, brown bear might mean friendship, comfort, and security for a child who plays and sleeps with a stuffed animal. This means that connotative meaning is concerned with the real world experience one associates with a linguistic expression one uses or hears. Social meaning is the information which a piece of language conveys about the social circumstances of its use. In other words, the meaning conveyed by the piece of language about the social context of its use. Here, Leach 1981 includes under social meaning variation in all of the aspects of language structure like pronunciation, intonation, sentence structure, etc. as revealing social meaning. The decoding of a text is dependent on our knowledge of stylistics and other variations of language. This just means that we recognize some words or pronunciation as being dialectical, like as telling us something about the regional or social origin of the speaker. For example, I ain't done nothing. The line tells us about the speaker and that is the speaker is probably a black American, unprivileged, and uneducated. Stylistic variation represents the social variation. This is because styles show the geographical region, social class of the speaker. Style helps us to know about the period, field, and status of the discourse. For example, the words steed, horse, and nag are synonymous. They all mean a kind of animal which is a horse, but they differ in style and so have various social meaning. Steed is used in poetry, horse is used in general, while nag is a slang word. This means that social meaning is related to the situation in which a word is used. As we know, language is divided into three components, the first of which is sound, the second is form, and the third is meaning. The branch of linguistics that studies sound is phonetics, and the other one is phonology. Under form are words, phrases, and clauses or sentences. The branch of linguistics that studies words is morphology, and the branch that studies phrases and clauses is called syntax. Now, for meaning, which is our focus in the discussion, as I've discussed earlier, the two branches that study meaning are semantics and pragmatics. The question here is, what is the role of grammar? Grammar are rules of a language. So basically, we're talking about sound, syllables under phonology, morphemes or words under morphology, phrases, clauses, and sentences under syntax. Now, as I've mentioned earlier, meaning is also part of language. So, is meaning important in grammar? The answer is, of course, yes, because semantics is part of grammar. Those sounds and images or words need to be assigned meaning, which is the area of semantics. People learn the meaning of words in a basic fashion at first, but then as facility with the language grows, more complex meanings emerge. Semantics explains the various types of meaning that exist within a language, granting insight into how a person builds ability and understanding with that language. Semantics, as part of grammar, is critical to a language because without it, there would be no real structure to a language. Without the basic, intrinsic understanding of semantics that comes along with the language acquisition, speakers could string words together in any order they wanted, and listeners would have a difficult time deriving meaning from those sentences. Semantics provides speakers a structure to use when they need to transform words into sentences and creating meaning. Now let us discuss the difference between semantics and language manipulation. Earlier, I have already told you that semantics is the area of linguistics interested in meaning and the many ways that we can describe it. Language manipulation is redefining negative or positive words, phrases, or ideas to change their meaning to make it more appealing or to support an argument or idea without changing the true merits of the words or phrases. This is done because certain words, phrases, or ideas becomes sensitive in societies due to their negative definitions. When these definitions prevent governments or corporations from their goals, they will sidestep the problem by redefining or rephrasing words or using strawman tactics to manipulate the public into accepting something they otherwise would not accept. So how does language manipulation work? Again, to rename or relabel an act or object for the purpose of acquiring different results, outcomes, or perspective can be classified as semantic manipulation. So the distortion of the original semantics can be motivated by wealth, power, or to maintain the status quo within an organization that is reluctant to change. Likewise, semantic manipulation can be used to provide you with false information without media and especially pseudoscience. In doing so, semantic manipulation can not only be used to maintain a certain course within a system, but can also be used to influence it into a different direction. Let us remember that language manipulation is commonly used in politics and media, and one strategy used is doublespeak. Doublespeak is a deliberately evasive language that seeks to hide something discomforting, offensive, or unpleasant idea. Somewhat like a euphemism, except that euphemisms are short phrases or words, while doublespeak consists of at least one full sentence or several sentences. The strategy doublespeak in language manipulation works in this way. So take a look at this example. The first sentence goes like this. Unfortunately, civilians were killed in the airstrikes over Iraq. Versus US Air Force planes killed civilians while conducting strikes over Iraq. So, as you notice, the first sentence omits who is responsible for the death and seeks to hide this fact. I am done with my discussion. At this time, I'd like to have Ma Meryl Ann Banagodos to speak about her topic, so I'll finish up by saying thank you for your attention.